The galaxy had been quiet for centuries. Alien empires ruled their territories without challenge. Stars burned calmly and civilizations grew in their corners of space, never fearing humans. Earth, a small blue planet, was often ignored. Most alien races thought humans were weak, slow, and insignificant. They were wrong. On the edge of the Milky Way, a human scout ship named Horizon moved silently between the stars. Its sensors picked up something unusual, a massive alien fleet approaching the outer planets. No human had ever seen such numbers. The fleet was enormous, with ships glinting like dark metal suns. Captain Lena Hart, a young but brilliant officer, stared at the holographic display of incoming ships. Her heart raced, but she remained calm. "This isn't a coincidence," she said. "They're coming for us, or someone near us. Either way, we need to warn Earth Command immediately." Her first officer, Jared Voss, frowned. "Lena, the outer empires are vast. Do you really think they care about Earth?" "They will," Lena replied firmly. "They will, and when they do, it's better we are ready than surprised." Back on Earth, the news shocked the Galactic Defense Council. The aliens, whom humans had only studied from afar, were moving aggressively. Most leaders of the Council had underestimated humans' capability in interstellar war. But now, every eye turned to Earth. Humanity had a choice: hide and hope or prepare and strike. Human scientists worked day and night. Engineers upgraded ships with faster engines, stronger shields, and new weapons that no alien had ever faced. Soldiers trained tirelessly, learning tactics that emphasized intelligence, teamwork, and courage over sheer size. Humanity had been preparing silently for decades. The galaxy did not know it, but Earth was ready. Meanwhile, the alien fleet approached, unaware that the humans had noticed them. The flagship of the alien armada, a massive black vessel called the Dread Star, cut through the void like a predator. On board, Admiral Zyler Thorne studied the human reports captured by his spies. He smirked. "Humans? They are nothing. They won't even last one battle." Back in the horizon, Lena observed the Dread Star from a safe distance. "They think they are superior because of their size," she said softly. "We will show them the strength of humanity." Jared glanced at her. "We can't fight the whole fleet alone." "No," Lena agreed, "but we don't have to fight them all at once. One step at a time. We warn the systems, we defend, we strike where they are weakest. That's how humans survive, by thinking ahead." 4 days humans monitored the fleet. Every movement was mapped, every signal intercepted. The alien armada was massive but slow to react. They believed humans would run, hide, or surrender. They were wrong again. On Zara Prime, a mining colony on the outer rim, the first human defense team waited. These men and women were not soldiers by birth. They were miners, scientists, and engineers, but they had been trained to fight when the galaxy demanded it. When the alien fleet approached the planet, panic threatened to set in. But then, the defense team activated a series of hidden mines and laser turrets. The first alien ships arrived, expecting easy victory. They were met with an unexpected barrage. Explosions rocked space as ships were shredded by coordinated attacks. The aliens were stunned. "What is this?" Admiral Thorne growled. "How can humans—" "Quiet," Lena said over the comms, her voice calm and steady. "This is only the beginning." The battle at Zara Prime lasted only hours, but the message was clear. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was prepared. Word spread across nearby systems. Humans could fight, humans could win. Rumors of their technology, their courage, and their strategy reached every corner of the galaxy. Back on Earth, the Council watched the reports with mixed emotions. Some were proud, others nervous. Humanity had always been underestimated. But now, the first warning had gone out and the galaxy was listening. Meanwhile, the aliens regrouped. They had faced resistance before, but never like this. Ships of their armada drifted damaged in space, while the humans remained calm, collected, and precise. It was not just their weapons that were dangerous. It was their mind, their planning, and their unity. Captain Lena Hart looked at her crew aboard the Horizon. "This is just the first step," she said. "The galaxy will hear our names soon. And when they do, they will think twice before underestimating us again." In distant star systems, alien leaders began to whisper. "Humans are not what we thought," they said nervously. "They are clever. They fight differently. They may be dangerous." Fear was creeping into the galaxy, one system at a time. The humans had delivered their first warning, not with words but with action. The message was simple: do not underestimate humanity. Their fleets were small compared to the alien armada, but their courage, intelligence and teamwork made them a force no empire had ever faced. The galaxy, once confident in its order, now trembled slightly at the thought of Earth. For the first time, humans were no longer just observers, they were players. And their story had only just begun. Captain Lena Hart gazed at the stars. Somewhere in the darkness the alien fleet waited. But humans were ready. The first warning had been sent. The galaxy would never forget it. The first warning had shaken the galaxy, but it was only the beginning. Humanity had sent a clear message. They were no longer the small, overlooked species at the edge of space. Now they were ready to strike. Captain Lena Hart stood on the bridge of the horizon, staring at the star map. Red dots marked alien strongholds, blue dots marked human fleets. "It's time," she said quietly. "We strike and we strike with precision." Her first officer, Jared Voss, nodded. "Our fleets are ready, but the alien numbers, they are overwhelming." "We don't need to overwhelm," Lena replied. "We need to outthink them. Humanity has never fought like this before. We hit fast, hard and disappear. One victory at a time." Across the galaxy, humans launched coordinated attacks. Not all were soldiers. Scientists, engineers and volunteers joined the fleets, knowing every role mattered. Ships moved with silent precision, almost invisible in the vastness of space. The first target was Xylar Prime, a heavily fortified alien outpost. The aliens believed it was untouchable. Their walls were thick, their defenses advanced, and their fleets massive. But humans had studied every detail. They knew the weaknesses. The attack began at the edge of the system. Small human scouts slipped past patrols, planting explosives and hacking communications. The alien defenses scrambled, but humans were already inside their network, feeding false signals. Then the main fleet appeared. Ships of all sizes moved in formation like a single organism. Lasers cut through enemy shields with speed no alien technology could match. Missile volleys struck simultaneously at critical points. The alien fleet was caught completely off guard. Admiral Xylar Thorne, aboard the Dread Star, watched in disbelief. "Impossible," he growled. "How are they here? How do they move so fast?" On the horizon, Lena smiled faintly. "They underestimate humans, again. And they always will until it's too late." The battle raged for hours. Human ships weaved between enemy fire, striking and disappearing. Their tactics were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. No wasted energy, no unnecessary losses, just precise, calculated strikes. Entire alien squadrons vanished as humans exploited every flaw in their formation. On board Xylar Prime, civilians watched in terror as the alien defenses collapsed. Yet even in fear, some aliens hesitated to surrender, believing their size would protect them. They learned too late that size alone could not defeat strategy, courage and unity. Back on the horizon, Lena's comms crackled with reports. "Xylar Prime is ours," a junior officer said. "The remaining fleets are in retreat." "Good," Lena replied. "But this is only the beginning. Every empire in the galaxy will feel this strike." The humans did not destroy for revenge or greed. Their goal was simple: show that Earth would not be pushed around. Every victory sent a message across star systems. Tales of human courage, intelligence, and unbreakable spirit spread faster than any rumor. Jared looked at the map, concern on his face. "They'll regroup. This fleet will come back with reinforcements, bigger and stronger." "They will," Lena agreed. "But we are ready. And every victory we take now will weaken them before they can strike again. Humanity fights differently. We adapt. We learn. We survive." Meanwhile, alien spies began sending reports to their home empires. They described human tactics, their fearless pilots, and their coordination. Leaders across the galaxy whispered nervously, fearing the humans they had once ignored. On Earth, celebrations were quiet but meaningful. Scientists and engineers watched the battle unfold through live transmissions. Civilians cheered as human ships destroyed seemingly invincible alien forces. For the first time, the galaxy saw humans not as prey, but as predators of strategy and skill. Lena walked along the bridge, looking at her crew. "Every human here is a hero," she said softly. "Not because of weapons or ships, but because of courage. That's something the galaxy cannot measure, something they will never understand." Back in space, the alien armada began to retreat, but they knew the war had changed. Humans were no longer the species to be overlooked. Entire fleets had been lost, planets had been shaken, and the name of Earth spread fear and respect simultaneously. As the horizon returned to Earth Command, reports of their victory reached every system. Every human fleet that struck became a story of hope, courage, and fear. Aliens whispered to each other, realizing that humanity was unlike any other species they had faced. Captain Lena prepared her next mission. "The first strike is done," she said. "But humanity will not stop. They will learn our methods, but they cannot match our spirit. We fight not for conquest, but to show the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated." Jared smiled. "Then let's make sure they never forget us." Lena looked at the stars. Somewhere, enemy fleets were regrouping, planning revenge. But humanity had shown the galaxy its first real proof. Humans could strike anywhere, anytime, and with deadly precision. The galaxy would never be the same again. Every alien empire that had doubted humans would now reconsider. Every system that thought Earth was insignificant would now tremble at its name. Humanity had struck first, and it was just the beginning of a war that would change the galaxy forever. The story of humanity's first strike was not one of destruction alone. It was a story of courage, intelligence, and unity. A message had been sent across the stars. Humans fight differently. Humans fight smart. And when humans strike, even the most powerful empires must fear. The galaxy had begun to take notice. Humanity's first strikes were no longer whispers in distant systems. They were warnings carried on every star and every fleet. What had once been doubt and dismissal was now fear, and even the most confident alien leaders started to question their strategies. Captain Lena Hart stood on the bridge of the horizon, observing the holographic star map. Red dots indicated enemy fleets, blue dots represented human forces. Unlike before, these dots were moving faster. Aliens were reorganizing, trying to anticipate human attacks. Lena smiled. "They think they can predict us. They can't." Her first officer, Jared Voss, studied the projections. "Their fleets are stronger now. If we strike the wrong system." Lena shook her head. "No mistakes. We hit where they are weakest and we keep moving. Humanity survives because we adapt." The aliens were frustrated. They had enormous numbers and advanced weapons, but humans fought differently. They didn't charge blindly into battle. They observed, calculated, and then struck with precision. One alien admiral complained, "They fight like nothing we have ever seen. They vanish before we can react." Meanwhile, in space near Verelion Prime, humans prepared for their next operation. The planet was a key supply hub for the alien armada, guarded by layers of warships and orbital defenses. To most, it seemed impossible. To humans, it was a challenge waiting to be solved. Lena's fleet split into smaller units, each assigned a critical target. Scout ships disabled radar stations, while strike teams attacked shield generators. Within hours, the aliens were confused. Their communications were full of conflicting signals, false coordinates, and intercepted orders. Chaos spread like wildfire. "Target locked," one of Lena's officers reported. "Shields are down on the orbital fleet." "Engage," Lena commanded. Human ships surged forward. Laser fire tore through enemy hulls, missiles struck command centers, and in moments the heavily defended Verelion hub was crippled. The alien commanders panicked. A few surrendered, realizing resistance was pointless. Others fled, leaving behind chaos and destroyed ships. In the aftermath, human crews did not celebrate loudly. Victory was measured, precise, and purposeful. Each win sent a clear signal to the galaxy. Humans were not a species to be underestimated. On board the Dread Star, Admiral Zyler Thorne roared in anger. "How can they do this? How can such a small force defeat fleets larger than theirs?" His officers tried to calm him. "Perhaps we underestimate them," one said nervously. "Underestimate them?" Thorne growled. "I will not underestimate humans again. They will pay for this." But humans were already moving on. Lena didn't waste time gloating. Every victory was a stepping stone to the next objective. By the end of the week, they had struck multiple systems. Supply chains were disrupted, fleets were in retreat, and alien leaders were forced to rethink their entire strategy. Even among the alien ranks, whispers of fear spread. Soldiers who had never known defeat began questioning their commanders. "Can we really fight them?" some asked. "They appear everywhere, strike perfectly, and vanish before we can respond. They are unstoppable." Back on Earth, the Galactic Defense Council received reports of victories from Verelion Prime and nearby systems. Some members were proud, others cautious. "We cannot let the galaxy see us as weak," Lena told them during a live briefing. "But we also must remember, our victories are not just about force. They are about courage, unity, and intelligence. That is humanity's strength." As the alien empires scrambled, human fleets continued their pattern. strike, disable, retreat. Unlike conventional battles, humans did not aim for total destruction. Their goal was strategic disruption, showing the galaxy that even the mightiest empire could be challenged. During one operation, human scouts discovered that a faction within the alien fleets was hesitant to fight. Some ships were not moving, signals intercepted showed confusion, and even sabotage was suspected. Lena saw an opportunity. "We don't need to fight everyone," she said. "Some will help us if we act carefully." The humans began forming alliances with disillusioned alien factions. These allies provided intelligence, secret routes, and weak points, multiplying the effectiveness of human strikes. With each victory, more systems began whispering the same word: humans. Fear had grown into legend. Meanwhile, Earth continued to build. Engineers designed ships faster than ever, weapons sharper, and shields stronger. Scientists worked tirelessly to improve technology, knowing that intelligence and preparation would win wars, even against overwhelming numbers. As humans advanced, Admiral Thorne's anger turned to fear. For the first time, he wondered if humans were not just another species but something different, something the galaxy had never faced before. Captain Lena observed the stars one night. "The tide is turning," she said softly to Jared. "The galaxy still believes numbers and size matter. But we fight differently. We fight smart. We fight together. That's why we will win." The alien fleets retreated to regroup, but the message was clear: humanity had changed the balance of power. The once mighty empires, confident in their dominance, now quaked in the face of humans. Each victory strengthened morale, reputation, and the belief that humanity could never be underestimated. Stories of human victories spread faster than any fleet could travel. Tales of courage, strategy, and unity inspired allies and terrified enemies. Humans had proven that the right mind, the right heart, and the right teamwork could overcome any numerical advantage. By the end of the campaign near Verelion Prime, the first real shift had occurred. The tide of war was no longer entirely in favor of the aliens. Humanity was no longer just surviving, it was thriving. Their name traveled across star systems, whispered with a mix of fear, respect, and awe. Captain Lena Hart watched her fleet return. "The galaxy sees us now," she said. "They know humans fight differently. And this is only the beginning. The tide has turned, and humanity will not let it slip back." For the first time, the galaxy understood a frightening truth. Humans were not just fighters, they were a force unlike any other. And as the stars gleamed above, Lena knew humanity's rise was unstoppable. The galaxy was in chaos. Humanity's victories had shaken entire empires, and fear now spread faster than light. Yet not all aliens were united against Earth. In secret, whispers of doubt and rebellion stirred among those who had grown tired of endless war. On the alien planet Thyrellon, a high-ranking officer named Kyron Voss quietly observed reports of human strikes. His fleet had been loyal to the coalition, but Kyron had begun questioning their leader's judgment. "These humans, they fight with honor and precision," he murmured to his aide. "They do not destroy for greed or revenge. Yet our leaders send us blindly to death. Something is wrong here." Kyron was not alone. Across several star systems, alien officers, engineers, and soldiers began noticing the same pattern. Humans were organized, intelligent, and brave. Entire fleets vanished under human tactics, yet no human seemed cruel or arrogant. Some of these aliens wondered, could humans be reasoned with? Could alliances form? Captain Lena Hart was unaware of Karen's growing doubts, but her fleet was monitoring alien communications closely. Humanity had learned that intelligence and foresight were just as important as firepower. Intercepted messages hinted at cracks within the alien ranks. Lena's voice was calm over the comms. "Prepare our teams. If allies are willing, we will strike strategically, not blindly." The first opportunity came at the Korvax system, a vital supply hub for the alien coalition. Certain alien officers were secretly sending information to humanity, ship movements, defense patterns, weak points, hoping to prevent unnecessary bloodshed. Lena's fleet received the intel carefully, verifying its accuracy before acting. The strike began under the cover of darkness. Human ships navigated through asteroid fields and nebula clouds, avoiding detection. Scouts slipped past patrols, planting sensors and hacking security systems. The Korvax defenses were formidable, but the hidden help from rebel aliens made them vulnerable. Inside the Korvax command station, Lieutenant Tara Venn, a young human strategist, coordinated the attack. "Strike Team Alpha, disable the shield generators. Strike Team Beta, cover the perimeter. Everyone else, prepare for extraction. And remember, We do this without unnecessary destruction. This is not vengeance. This is strategy. The humans moved with flawless precision. Shield generators were neutralized before the aliens could respond. Defense ships were disabled or rerouted. Rebel alien officers provided critical assistance, guiding human ships through hidden corridors and communication channels. In hours, the Korvax system was under human control, yet most alien soldiers were unharmed. When the alien coalition learned of the loss, panic spread. Admiral Zyler Thorn was furious. "How can this be?" he shouted. "How can humans control an entire system without a fight? They must have inside help." "They do," his second-in-command admitted reluctantly. "Some factions are aiding them, against our orders." Thorn's rage was unmatched, but even he knew this was a turning point. The galaxy had never faced a species capable of inspiring loyalty, even within enemy ranks. Humanity's victories were now not just about firepower, they were about reputation, honor, and leadership. On Earth, the Council observed the Korvax strike with amazement. "They are not only winning battles," one council member said, "they are turning enemies into allies." Humanity fights with a force no empire can predict. Captain Lena Hart stood on the Horizon's bridge, her gaze steady on the starfield. "This is what makes humans different," she said softly to Jared. "We fight not just with weapons but with strategy, honor, and the courage to do what is right. The galaxy will see that. And slowly, even our enemies will see it too." The success at Korvax inspired more aliens to question their leaders. Across the galaxy, whispers grew louder. Perhaps humanity is not our enemy. Perhaps we have been misled. Perhaps Earth fights differently, better than we imagined. Chiron Voss became a key contact for humans. He shared vital intelligence about fleet movements, supply lines, and secret defenses. In return, humans promised no unnecessary bloodshed and offered a path to survival for those willing to defect. This growing network of allies, once considered enemies, shifted the balance of power more than any single battle could. Despite these gains, the war was far from over. Admiral Thorn was relentless. He began sending ruthless commanders to crush any rebellion within his fleets, yet human strikes continued to undermine his authority. Each failed attempt only emboldened humans and the rebel factions. Captain Lena prepared for the next operation. "We move forward with caution but decisively," she told her officers. "The galaxy is watching. Every move we make must show that humans fight not only to survive but to inspire." The first ripple of rebellion had turned into a wave. Entire squadrons of alien ships quietly changed sides, providing intelligence and support to humanity. Human fleets moved faster, struck smarter, and won with precision. The tide was shifting. Stories of the rebel alliances spread across the galaxy. Tales of alien officers risking their lives to help humans inspired hope and fear at the same time. Humanity's reputation grew not through fear alone, but through respect earned on the battlefield. Lena Hart observed the stars one night. "The galaxy is learning," she said. "Even enemies can see what humans are capable of. Courage, intelligence, honor, these are the weapons no empire can destroy." The humans had proven something the galaxy had never expected. They could win not only with firepower but with trust, loyalty, and strategy. Even the aliens who had fought humanity for centuries began to realize a hard truth. Humanity was unstoppable not because they were the strongest but because they fought smart, fair, and united. The rebel within the alien ranks had changed everything. Humanity's victories were no longer isolated, they were becoming a movement, a force that would shape the galaxy for generations. The story of Earth's courage spread, whisper by whisper, fleet by fleet, and planet by planet. Captain Lena smiled as she watched reports of the Korvax system. "This is only the beginning," she said. "The galaxy will see the strength of humanity not just in battle, but in the hearts of those who choose honor over fear. And when it does, there will be no stopping us." The tide had turned. Humanity was no longer just fighting for survival, they were inspiring the galaxy, one ally at a time. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Human fleets were striking quickly, decisively, and with terrifying precision. Alien empires, once confident in their dominance, now quaked at the mere mention of Earth. Reports of human victories, stealth attacks, and rebel alliances flooded every system. Fear had replaced arrogance. In the heart of the alien coalition, the Galactic Council convened. Leaders from dozens of empires gathered in a massive chamber aboard the Eternal Spire, a floating fortress larger than most planets. Admiral Zyler Thorn paced angrily. "Humans are not just winning battles, they are dismantling our fleets and spreading doubt among our own officers. This is intolerable." A senior counselor spoke cautiously. Admiral, we must acknowledge the reality. Humanity fights unlike any other species. They adapt, strategize, and inspire loyalty even among our ranks. Ignoring this will lead to disaster. Thorn's face darkened. Acknowledging them is one thing. Letting them survive is another. I will crush every fleet, every system, and every trace of human influence if it is the last thing I do. Despite Thorn's rage, a seed of doubt had been planted among the council members. Some whispered privately, questioning centuries of overconfidence. Others demanded action, proposing massive coordinated attacks against human fleets. Meanwhile, Captain Lena Hart and the Horizon Fleet were already planning their next move. Humanity had learned the council would meet, and that their reactions would be predictable. Information intercepted from council communications revealed internal divisions. Some feared humans, some still underestimated them, and some considered negotiating secretly with human allies. Lena addressed her officers. The council is moving to coordinate a counterattack. They will try to overwhelm us with numbers. But we do not fight the way they expect. We strike smart, we strike fast, and we let the galaxy watch their empire crumble in disbelief. Her first officer, Jared Voss, nodded. We also have allies within their ranks now. They will help us. The council cannot move as one if parts of it are working against them. The first step was disrupting the council's supply lines and communications. Human fleets split into multiple small groups, each assigned a specific target. Scouts infiltrated alien communication satellites, spreading false orders. Small strike teams disabled weapon depots and fuel stations. By the time the main fleet arrived, chaos had already spread throughout the alien coalition. On board the Eternal Spire, council members watched their plans fail in real time. Commands were ignored, fleets became disorganized, and sabotage from rebel officers caused delays and confusion. Panic rippled through the chamber. Even Thorn could not hide his frustration. Outside, human ships moved with purpose. No fleet was wasted, no ship was left exposed. Every strike was coordinated, every target precise. Even the smallest human vessels carried the weight of strategy and intelligence. The council attempted a counteroffensive. Massive fleets converged on human positions, expecting an easy victory. But humans anticipated every move. Mines were planted, decoys were used, and hidden allies intercepted reinforcements. Fleets that should have been invincible were destroyed in hours. The council's confidence crumbled like sand through fingers. Impossible. Thorn shouted as another fleet was destroyed. How can a species so small defeat our mightiest ships? Jared leaned toward Lena. They'll never understand. They rely on strength and size. Humans rely on mind and heart. That is why we win. The council realized their mistakes too late. Aliens who had doubted human capabilities were now openly questioning their leaders. Some secretly sent messages to humans, offering cooperation in exchange for survival. Others considered retreat, abandoning systems they had once considered secure. In Earth Command, the council observed the chaos with awe. Humanity's strength is not in numbers, one member said. It is in courage, intelligence, and unity. No empire has ever fought like this before. Lena prepared for the next strategic strike. The council may respond with fury, she said. But fury without understanding is easy to manipulate. We continue to outthink them, outmaneuver them, and show the galaxy what humans are capable of. As human fleets advanced, rebel alien factions provided intelligence that turned battles in humanity's favor. Entire systems surrendered before a fight even began. The council's attempts to unite the empires failed as internal mistrust spread. Humanity had not only defeated fleets, they had turned fear into strategy, inspiring dissent among their enemies. Meanwhile, stories of human bravery, strategy, and honor spread across the galaxy. Tales of rebel officers risking their lives to aid humanity inspired others. Even planets far from battle zones began to see humans not as invaders but as a force that could change the course of history. Thorn's anger reached a boiling point. I will not allow this to continue, he shouted. We will strike Earth directly, and I will personally see it destroyed. Lena smiled calmly. Let them come, she said to Jared. Humans are ready. They think they fight with numbers and might. We fight with unity, courage, and intelligence. That is something no council, no empire, and no fleet can ever predict. The Galactic Council's response had only made one thing clear. Humanity had changed the galaxy forever. Fleets were no longer the measure of power. Strategy, intelligence, courage, and loyalty, these were the true weapons. Humans had proven that a small species, united and determined, could challenge the mightiest of empires. As the horizon prepared to move to its next target, Lena addressed her crew. The Council will try everything to stop us, but every misstep they make strengthens us. Humanity does not fight like them. Humanity fights smart, brave, and united. The galaxy will learn that lesson, soon and thoroughly. Even in the heart of the alien coalition, whispers of respect and fear began to grow. Humanity had shown that battles were not won by size or history alone. They were won by courage, strategy, and the will to survive. And as the stars shone over the fleets, Lena knew one thing: the Galactic Council would never forget the name of Earth. The tide had turned further. Humanity was no longer simply resisting, it was dictating the terms of war. And the galaxy was watching, wondering just how far humans could go. The galaxy held its breath. Every empire that had doubted humans now watched in fear and awe. Humanity had survived, adapted, and struck with unmatched precision. Captain Lena Hart and her fleet stood at the edge of the alien coalition's central systems, preparing for what would become the decisive battle of the war. The Dread Star, Admiral Zyler Thorne's massive flagship, led the coalition fleet. Its black hull gleamed like a shadow in space, carrying thousands of troops and weapons capable of obliterating entire planets. Thorne's pride had become obsession. He swore that Earth would fall and he alone would see it destroyed. Lena gathered her officers aboard the horizon. "This is the moment humanity proves itself to the galaxy," she said. "We are outnumbered, yes. But the Council, the fleets, the empires, they all underestimate us. They do not understand what it means to fight as humans do. Courage, strategy, unity, these are our weapons and they are stronger than any fleet." Jared Voss, her first officer, looked at her solemnly. "This will be the largest battle we've faced. Are we ready?" "We are ready," Lena replied. "Humanity has never lost when it fights together, and we won't start now." The battle began with silence. Human scouts moved through asteroid fields, bypassing patrols, while decoy ships drew the alien fleet's attention away. Then, with sudden speed, the main human fleet struck. Lasers cut through shields, missiles tore through warships, and command centers exploded under precise targeting. Every move was calculated, every strike deadly. The aliens were shocked. Fleets larger than Earth's entire navy fell in hours. Thorne's commanders tried to organize counterattacks, but human intelligence and foresight were always one step ahead. Human ships disappeared before retaliation, striking from unexpected angles, exploiting weaknesses that no alien had ever predicted. "Impossible," Thorne roared. "How can such a small species move with this coordination?" Lena watched the battle unfold on the horizon's holographic displays. "It's not size," she said. "It's the mind and heart of humans. That is what they cannot understand, and that is why we will win." Allied alien factions, those who had doubted Thorne's leadership and sided with humans, now provided critical intelligence. Supply lines were cut, reinforcements delayed, and hidden defenses exposed. Entire alien fleets surrendered before the fight could even reach them. Humanity's reputation had grown to such a scale that fear alone caused empires to retreat. The Dread Star itself became a target. Lena led a strike team personally through an asteroid field, using a hidden route provided by rebel aliens. The massive flagship could not maneuver fast enough. Missiles struck simultaneously at weak points, lasers burned through armor, and explosions shook the enormous vessel. Admiral Thorne's fury became panic. The empire he had relied on crumbled around him. Fleets retreated, systems surrendered, and planets that had once resisted humans opened their doors, seeking protection and cooperation. Humanity's courage, strategy, and fairness had won not only battles, they had won respect and loyalty. The final strike came when human forces disabled the Dread Star's primary weapons and captured key officers. Lena gave the order to halt destruction, showing that humans did not fight for slaughter, only for victory and survival. The surviving alien fleets, witnessing the precision and honor of humanity, chose surrender over further conflict. Back on Earth, the Council watched in awe. Humanity had achieved what no one thought possible. Entire empires, thousands of warships, and centuries of arrogance had been humbled by courage, intelligence, and unity. "Humanity is no longer a small species at the edge of space," one council member said. "They are now the standard of courage, strategy, and honor. Every empire must recognize them." Lena stood on the bridge of the horizon, gazing at the stars. "This war is over," she said softly. "Not because we destroyed the enemy but because we showed the galaxy what humans are capable of. Our strength lies not just in our weapons but in our unity, intelligence, and courage." Jared smiled. The galaxy will never forget this day. Indeed it would not. Tales of humanity's triumph spread faster than any fleet could travel. Stories of Captain Lena Hart, her officers, and every human who fought in the war became legends. Systems once ruled by fear now respected and feared humanity's name. The message was clear: humans were not just survivors, they were heroes, leaders, and a force the galaxy could not ignore. Even the former enemies began to rebuild under new understanding. Humanity offered guidance, trade, and cooperation, showing that victory could be achieved without needless destruction. Planets once at war learned that honor and courage were stronger than tyranny and force. The galaxy had changed forever. Humanity's rise had been brutal, swift, and brilliant. Every empire that had laughed at Earth now trembled, not just with fear but with respect. The stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter, reflecting the courage and determination of a small species that had refused to be underestimated. Captain Lena Hart watched the distant horizon, feeling the weight of humanity's triumph. "We fought as humans always fight," she said. "With intelligence, courage, and unity. And now the galaxy knows our name. The story of Earth has only begun, and it will echo through the stars for generations." The victory was complete. Humanity had triumphed, and the galaxy would never again see them as weak. They had faced impossible odds, outsmarted the largest fleets, and inspired respect and loyalty in the hearts of even their enemies. In the silence after the battle, Lena whispered to herself, "The galaxy will remember us. And we will always fight with the heart of humanity." The war was over. Humanity had triumphed, not through sheer numbers but through courage, strategy, and unity. Entire alien empires, once confident in their dominance, now bowed to a new reality. Humans were a force the galaxy could not ignore. Captain Lena Hart stood on the bridge of the horizon, watching distant stars. The fleets she had commanded were scattered across systems, helping rebuild worlds and restore order. Yet even in victory she knew the real challenge had only begun. Humanity's place in the galaxy had changed forever. "Do you ever think they'll forget us?" her first officer, Jared Voss, asked quietly. Lena shook her head. "No. They'll never forget humans again. Not because we destroyed them but because we showed what it means to fight with intelligence, courage, and honor. That is our legacy now." Across the galaxy, planets that had once feared humans were now allies. Former enemies sought trade, communication, and cooperation. Rebel factions that had aided humanity during the war were welcomed as partners, forging bonds that would ensure lasting peace. The Galactic Council, once a body of alien empires vying for control, now had a new perspective. They recognized Earth as a leader, a symbol of unity and strength. Instead of ruling through fear, humans offered guidance, showing that respect, intelligence, and collaboration could achieve what war alone could not. In the rebuilt systems, stories of human heroism spread like wildfire. From Zara Prime to Korvax, from distant mining colonies to the heart of former enemy fleets, tales of courage, precision, and honor inspired generations. Children learned about Captain Lena Hart, about ordinary humans who became legends, and about a species that refused to be underestimated. Even Admiral Zyler Thorne, once humanity's fiercest enemy, was forced to acknowledge the truth. His fleets were destroyed, his strategies outmatched, and his empire humbled. Yet he survived, and in the aftermath he watched humans not with hatred, but with a grudging respect. For the first time he understood that victory was not always about power, it was about heart, intelligence, and unity. On Earth, the Council celebrated quietly. Ships returned with stories, soldiers and engineers reunited with families, and the people reflected on the journey from a small, overlooked planet to the center of galactic attention. Humanity had faced impossible odds and won, not through cruelty or domination, but through determination, strategy, and courage. Lena addressed a meeting of the Earth Command Council. "The galaxy has changed," she said. "Humans are no longer observers. We are leaders, protectors, and symbols of courage. Our victory proves that even the smallest species can inspire, survive, and change the fate of the stars. But we must remember, this is just the beginning. We fight not just for survival but for what is right, for honor, and for the future of every planet in the galaxy." Jared smiled. "So what now? Do we rest?" "Rest?" Lena laughed softly. "No, we build. We teach. We explore. Humanity will not stop because the galaxy finally sees us. We will continue to grow, to inspire, and to protect. That is what being human means." Across distant systems, human fleets patrolled, not to conquer but to safeguard. Former enemies became allies, and trade routes reopened under the protection of Earth's fleet. Intelligence networks, once used for war, were now tools of diplomacy, exploration, and cooperation. Humanity's triumph had not ended with battle. It had begun a new era. Even in the darkness of space, the stars seemed brighter. Systems once divided by fear now looked toward a future shaped by humans, not as rulers but as examples of courage, strategy, and unity. Humanity had proven that strength was not measured in numbers or weapons, but in heart, mind, and spirit. In the quiet moments aboard the horizon, Lena reflected on the journey. From the first warning to the decisive victories, humans had faced impossible odds. They had struck fear into the galaxy, turned enemies into allies, and inspired respect in the hearts of even the most powerful leaders. And yet, humanity had not lost its humility, its honor, or its compassion. History will remember us, Lena said softly. Not just for the battles we won but for the courage we showed, the wisdom we used, and the unity that carried us through. The galaxy has changed forever, and humans will continue to shape it, not with fear but with courage, intelligence, and heart. Jared looked out at the stars. So, humanity has a place in the galaxy now. Yes, Lena replied. A place of honor, of respect, and of hope. We will never be overlooked again. And the story of Earth will echo across the stars for generations to come. The galaxy, once dominated by fear and arrogance, now looked to a small blue planet that had risen against impossible odds. Humanity had triumphed not just through force, but through the principles that defined them: courage, unity, intelligence, and honor. A new era had begun. A galactic era where humans were no longer just another species. They were leaders, protectors, and legends. And as the stars shone brightly over the horizon, Captain Lena Hart knew one thing for certain. Humanity's story had only just begun, and the galaxy would never forget the name of Earth.